Hello everyone, my name is Ibrahim and I'm on the path to learning data analytics. In this video, I'm going to share with you what a forecast is in Power BI and how you can use this really cool feature to, make some certain predictions, not complex predictions, but, some certain basic predictions. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So as you know, here's a dashboard that I created that I've been, dabbling on, you know, for a while. So it's like a financial KPI dashboard. I use like a date table to, practice my date table skills. So one of the visuals I created was a yearly revenue trends. And for that, I used the line chart to, predict, to show, how revenue has been growing year over year. So, and with that, I also realized that there is a way you can actually make some basic predictions with Power BI. So, in other words, you could, based on past historic data, Power BI tries to, make some basic predictions on how things could go. It could be as accurate, it can be slightly accurate, but you can't completely rely or trust the information Power BI provides. But it tries its best to make some certain predictions. So to explain this further, I'm just going to like zoom in on this visual. Let me go into focus mode. So as you can see our line chart over here, and you can also see this pretty unusual visual over here also. So to explain this, let me try to, turn off the forecast first. And also, while I was trying to create this forecast, I learned it was in the analytics pane. And as you know, if you've been using Power BI for a while, you have certain, some three tabs over here. And there's something that looks like a magnifying glass that you can click on to navigate to the analytics pane. So if you've been looking to, go to the analytics pane, just know that it has been moved to the format, you know, button, the format tab. So everything has been merged together. Power BI keeps releasing some exciting updates. So let's try to go into the visual. So here's, you find the forecast down over here. So let me try to turn it off. So when I turn it off, you can see our line chart over here. And as you can see, it ends in December 2014. So once I turn this forecast on, it adds some more dates. So here's our original visual. It ends right over here. So with this, Power BI adds some extra, analytics, some extra visuals that you can look at, starting from January 2015 all the way to October 2015. And Power BI tries to make predictions on how the revenue, you know, might grow in the future, based on all this data it has looked at. So let's try to dig in deep into what the forecast does. So with this, you can see so many cool things over here, but the one I want to focus on is the forecast length and the confidence interval. So for the forecast length, what it means is that the higher the length, the more dates your Power BI tries to add. So I really suggest you keep the forecast length to like a minimum, not too high, because the higher it is, the more inaccurate the predictions can be. So in this case, I set my forecast length to 10, and let me just try to reduce it to 6, and you can see the difference. So let me click on apply. And in this case, you can see that it ends in June 2015. So once I set it to 10, Power BI tries to add more dates, in months. So let me click on apply. And yeah, as you can see, now it ends in October. So I can set it can be as high as you want. Let's try to put it to 20. and as you can see, it keeps increasing, and in this case it ends in 2016. So like I said, try to keep it at a minimum. I try to keep mine at 10. It's pretty decent, but depending on the predictions you want to make, you can set it as high or low as you want. Let me just click on apply here. And for the confidence interval, this just basically means how accurate, you want the predictions to be. Power BI looks at this confidence interval to determine, how accurate, should present, the predictions. So in this case, it's at 95%. So you could say it as high as possible, but I like to keep it here is the, normal and safe option to keep it at. So you can actually rely on the predictions Power BI makes, slightly based on this confidence interval. And of course, you can set it as low as you want. It really depends, but this here is like the sweet spot that I like to keep it at. So another thing I'd like to share with you is also, before you create like a forecast, it supports only certain kinds of visuals. In my case, I use it for a line chart, but I heard you can actually use it for an area chart also. I'm not really sure, but I know it supports a line chart. So based on other visuals, you might not find the forecast option over there. So let's try it for like uh, a bar chart. And as you can see, you can't really find anything forecast related. Let's try an area chart to see if we can find it. It doesn't seem like it's there. So I guess in this case, it only supports a line chart. And as you can see, our forecast is back on, and you can find the option down here. So before wrapping up, I want to show with you how you can, customize your forecast line. You could add certain customizations to make it look, a little bit much better. So to add some customizations, you just navigate to the forecast line. You can change the color to whatever color you want. In this case, let's try to use yellow. As you can see, it has changed. I prefer to like keep it a little bit more distinct, so whoever you're presenting to can, know what is for the real data and know which one is for the predictions. So in my case, I like to keep it to like something grayish to kind of like fade in the background, so you can know, that this is meant for, predictions. So that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you found this video helpful. In summary, a forecast line enables you to like make certain predictions based on the data that is already available. So Power BI tries to look into the data, analyze the data, and make certain predictions. So your predictions can be as accurate as you want based on the forecast length and the confidence interval. So I always prefer to keep the confidence interval at 95%. This will just gives Power BI to the confidence to like make really accurate predictions. And the forecast length, I try to keep it as low as possible, not too high. 10 to 20 is like the peak. I wouldn't go more than that. The more it is, the more slightly inaccurate, your predictions can be. So that's pretty much it, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. And yeah, thanks for watching. Cheers.